Let's play a game. Let's say that you took everything away from me. Okay, hold on. Let me rephrase that because otherwise my wife will kill me. Let's say that you took everything financially away from me. No retirement plan, no ETFs, no money, absolutely zero. And you tell me that I have to start from scratch. First off, I would be absolutely peeved and really upset you did that because that's really mean. But this is the game that I'm creating. The fact is yes, I would probably be panicking and screaming on the inside, but I would know exactly what to do in order, step by step. And the first thing I would do, most people would never guess. Now, what I would do would be considered counterintuitive because I would delay investing. Not forever, but just for a little while. Because here's what I've learned after doing this wrong myself. The exact order that you do things in personal finance matters more than most people realize. If you get the order wrong, even great investments will fail you. If you get the order right, even average investments can build real wealth. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 6 steps that I would do if I had to start all over again from zero. There's no theory, no fluff. This is the actual sequence, and I wish I had known this before I made all the mistakes that I did early on in my career. So let's get into it. Hey, I'm Mike Collins, and on this YouTube channel, I talk about personal finance and personal development. And I'm documenting my real journey on YouTube for yourself and for me. That includes the systems that I'm building and the mistakes that I make along the way and have already made, and also what I'm learning. Look, I don't have all the answers like everyone else on YouTube, but the fact is I do have some scars to prove what I've learned and also the steps that I would skip. So I'm trying to save you some time. So here's the roadmap. Before we dive into these 6 steps, I want to talk about the principle behind why I believe these 6 steps actually will benefit both you and I. The fact is most people treat personal finance like a buffet. Some ETFs here, some savings here, some stocks here, some bonds, maybe pay off some debt when you're feeling motivated, and switch strategies when something stops working. The fact is there's no sequence, there's no system, it's just good vibes. And that's why I truly believe that the reason 32% of Americans don't have any emergency savings funds is for that reason. Not because they don't care, but because there was no plan to tell them what to do first. You've probably heard this phrase before, but a house built without a foundation doesn't fail because the walls were bad. It simply fails because the foundation wasn't there. Get the foundation right first, then everything else can be built on top of that. I mentioned this earlier. I would not start with investing. Step 1 would be building a cash buffer. So before I invest a single dollar, I would build a small emergency fund. I'm not talking 6 months, I'm not talking a year, I'm not talking about climbing Mount Everest the way that Dave Ramsey talks about. I'm talking about $1,000 saved or enough money to cover a month's worth of expenses. Literally something. Because here's the real function of an emergency fund, and most people completely miss this. It's not about earning interest and it's not about returns. It's about eliminating those circumstances that create those really bad financial decisions that pop up in life. Now here's a crazy stat. 43% of Americans could not pay for a $1,000 emergency right now. That means when the transmission dies, or the AC goes out, or something else breaks, everyone just puts it on a credit card. And the fact is that a credit card charge of 22% on a $1,000 expense doesn't feel like a financial emergency in the moment. It honestly feels like a problem solved, right? And the truth is, it isn't. It honestly is the beginning of a cycle that can get out of hand really fast. So the fact is that an emergency fund or a cash buffer, the whole purpose behind it is to break the cycle before it even starts. Think of it this way. Every emergency that comes up all of a sudden becomes a financial crisis for you to respond to. With an emergency fund, it's just another Tuesday. So I've created the emergency fund from $0, and now it's on to step 2. Eliminate high interest debt. And this one's all mathematical.
Mathematical! Finn, you're terrible at math.
And not motivation. The average credit card interest rate in Q2 of 2026 was 20.94% across all accounts. For accounts actually carrying a balance, it was 22.15%. So let's talk about that in simple terms. So paying off a credit card at 22% interest is mathematically equivalent to earning a guaranteed 22% return of your money. Show me the investment that guarantees 22%. I'll wait. The fact is you can't out-invest high-interest debt. The math doesn't allow it. Every dollar compounding against you on a credit card is quietly destroying every dollar that you're trying to compound. For you in an investment account, remove the anchor first and then start building. And here's the only joke that I'm going to make about credit cards. Americans paid $253 billion in credit card interest and fees in 2025 alone. That's $253 billion. The fact is that the credit card companies are building generational wealth, just not yours. Step 3 is automate everything. This is where a lot of people fail, and it's not because they lack discipline. It's because they rely on discipline. I have learned that discipline is a very finite resource. It gets tired, it gets busy, it gets distracted by life itself. And the truth is, if we're being honest with ourselves, it makes exceptions when life gets stressful. The fact is that systems don't. The moment that I have income coming in, I go ahead and already have it automated for investment before I even see it. That goes for savings, retirement, investments, and even bills. All of it. The less that my financial life requires me to make a decision, truthfully, the better my financial life becomes. Now, I'll preface it with this. You should be monitoring how much money is coming in and going out. Don't just leave it completely on auto. I've said this before, and I will keep saying it. Lifestyle inflation only gets a vote if your paycheck lands in your checking account first. Automate the right allocations before it gets there. Lifestyle never sees that money. You can't spend what you never touched. So now the part that you've all been waiting for is step 4. Start investing. Now here's the trick. We're not looking for hidden gems. We're not chasing after 40% returns. And we're not trying to outsmart the people who literally do this for a living. I would buy something like a broad index fund like VTI or something similar to VU. Why? Because I don't need to figure out what the next great company is. At that point, I already own thousands based off that one single ETF. The S&P 500 has averaged 10% annually since 1926. Thankfully, that number doesn't really require brilliance or any extra effort in it. It doesn't require perfect timing. It just literally requires you to get in and then just stay in. Simple beats exciting. Not sometimes, like almost every time. Step 5 is increase the savings rate. Now, I feel like this is one that a lot of people skip over, but in a way, it's considered probably the most important one of all. Your investment strategy actually matters if you didn't know, but your savings rate actually matters more. If you save 5% of your income and invest it, let's say brilliantly, your wealth could grow slowly. Let's say you save 25% of your income into basic index funds. You could potentially build significant wealth. Every raise that I receive, I try to take 40 to 50% of it and invest it. What you never touch, you never miss. Your lifestyle adjusts to what remains, and future you actually gets the rest. A simple reminder, future me gets paid first, and current me gets paid last. That's the deal. Step 6. Keep learning. This one never truly ends, and most people forget about it. Because truthfully, investing really isn't about money. It's about decision making. The better you understand business, economics, psychology, behavior, and even taxes, the better your financial decisions become. And better financial decisions compound just like money does. That's why I still read, I still study, I talk about the things that I've learned, my mistakes, my failures, the things that I'm doing on this YouTube channel. Because explaining what I did wrong forces me to actually admit and understand better what I did. Knowledge is the only asset that can't be taken from you, and it never stops compounding. So we've talked about the 6 steps that I would do. Now let's talk about the things that I would not do. Let me be direct in what I would skip. I wouldn't trade options. I'm not an expert in that. I wouldn't buy penny stocks. What's not listed is way too risky to put in money. I wouldn't build an entire portfolio with 20 different ETFs because that's what diversification means. Chances are they're probably all the same things covered in all 20 of them, so it's like having a bunch of browser tabs opened. And lastly, I would not chase yield. I made my mistakes chasing after yield max funds. I understood the output. I didn't understand the full mechanism though. It's an expensive lesson, but good education. Sometimes tuition is the whole point in that. Now here's the bigger picture in all of this. None of these steps are genuinely exciting, and I know, I get it. That's kind of the point. Wealth is almost never about brilliant predictions. It's built through boring, automatic, consistent behavior, repeated over a really long time horizon, which has room for compounding, which is what compounding does. The simple truth is the people that set up automatic investments, while it doesn't seem like a lot, they're the ones that end up getting ahead of most of us, because consistency beats intensity every time. So if I lost everything tomorrow based off this little game that we played, I wouldn't need a better investment. I'd need a better system because systems rebuild wealth. Hope is not a strategy. So that's the roadmap. 6 steps in order, starting from 0. I have a question for you. Which step out of those 6 do you think most people actually skip? If you want to see what I actually invest in, like I mentioned in step 4, watch this video. If you like this video, please click the like button and hit subscribe for future content. I greatly appreciate it. I'm Mike Collins, and stay consistent out there. I'll see you guys on the next one.